Good evening. My name is Natalie Woodland. I am an MBA student here at Fayetteville State University, and I'd like to take the next few minutes to share with you my thoughts and research on growing income inequality as it relates to business and society. Growing income inequality has been a phenomenon we have continued to see trending over decades and has recently caused significant concern as it has reached more heightened levels than ever. It is, in fact, quite a problem for business and society. According to the World Economic Forum, in annual global risk reports released back in 2016, the gap between rich and poor was the primary driver behind the UK's Brexit vote, as well as Donald Trump's election victory here in the United States. The World Economic Forum further indicated that fundamental reform of capitalism may be needed in an effort to tackle public anger over the divide. In the political arena, many have weighed in on the topic previously and attempted to provide solutions. During another period of pronounced inequality in America, many decades ago, Associate Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis said, "We can either have democracy in this country, or we can have great wealth concentrated in the hands of a few, but we can't have both." The 2008 global economic meltdown was certainly eye-opening to many individuals as they watched the government bail out Wall Street investors while ordinary citizens were left to fend for themselves. The issue was put in the spotlight during the Occupy Wall Street protest movement and has continued to gain traction right up through the recent election with a pronounced divide on the issue. It also continues to be a challenge in terms of the president's agenda on tax reform and that continued divide between party lines. According to Theda Coxpole, a Harvard professor, it's been long known that the better educated, those with higher incomes, participate more in politics. What is quite new in recent times is very systematically that government really responds much more to the privileged than to even middle-income people who vote. This thought then leads many to believe that the political process is corrupt because of the impact that money can have on candidates and associated campaigns, etc. In addition, and according to Lawrence Katz, another Harvard professor, some of the most concerning aspects of the inequality gap are that the very rich and wealthy individuals are yielding increasing economic and political power and also causing a growing divide on education and further social segregation. Professor Katz indicated if the rate of economic mobility, which is the ability of people to improve their economic station, was higher, that our growing income disparity might not be such a problem. The disparities are alarming as they impact nearly every aspect of our daily lives, from our career prospects and educational opportunities to health risk and general safety in our communities. Further, Robert Putnam, a professor of public policy at Harvard Kennedy School, indicated that this widening income gap is fueling a class based social disconnect that is producing inequitable education results. He stated, now your family income matters more than your own abilities in terms of whether you complete college. He said that smart, poor kids are less likely to graduate from college now than dumb, rich kids. And that's not because of the schools, but rather because of all the advantages that are available to rich kids. From a longer term perspective, the World Economic Forum reporting that I mentioned earlier on and was obtained from hundreds of experts identified that rising income and wealth disparity and increasing polarization of sectors of society were actually ranked first and third among the underlying trends that are to determine the shape of the world in the next decade. In conclusion, based on the vast findings of this economic inequality from a social and political perspective, it is indeed critical that businesses understand their impact on these disparities and hold themselves and all global corporations accountable for their ethical duties, which do include helping the greater good and those in need, and looking at ways to more equitably distribute wealth and earnings. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great evening.